Who but Freeman could create a night like tonight? What a remarkable tribute to this amazing man. I have the great honor and privilege of welcoming you tonight, and as we honor my friend and colleague Freeman Hrabowski for his 20 years of phenomenal leadership as president of UMBC. We are all here tonight because each one of us has been touched in some significant way by Freeman, by his ideas, his passion, his energy, and by his unwavering belief in the power of education to transform lives. Over the past 20 years, Freeman and his colleagues at UMBC have built that university into what has become recognized as a new model for public higher education, one that combines the best of a world-class research university with the nurturing and student-focused culture of a liberal arts institution. Everyone, it seems, has come to understand Freeman's remarkable accomplishments at UMBC and the impact he has had far beyond the boundaries of that campus. Major organizations are standing in line, waiting for their turn to recognize his transformative efforts. Time magazine, who named Freeman one of the 10 best university presidents in the U.S. and one of the 100 most influential people in the world. "60 Minutes," which has run its, now when 60 Minutes features you, you have to be worried normally, but not at UMBC. This was a wonderfully positive segment on Freeman and UMBC, and they've run it twice in the past 6 months. U.S. News, which for 3 years running has ranked UMBC as the nation's #1 up-and-coming university and tied with Yale for 4th in the nation for the quality of undergraduate teaching. TIAA Craft awarded Freeman the prestigious Theodore Hesburgh Award for exceptional presidential leadership. The Heinz Foundation, which just bestowed its prestigious award for advancing the human condition on Freeman. To Harvard, Princeton, Duke, Johns Hopkins, and other prestigious universities that have awarded him honorary degrees. And on the list goes. We all know, those of us who know Freeman so well and have observed his great work, that these multitudinous awards and accolades are richly deserved. Tonight we will hear from a number of friends, colleagues, partners, and students, all paying tribute to the difference that Freeman has made in their lives. But before we get started, I need to thank you, the people in this room, for taking time from your busy lives to join us tonight in celebration of this force of nature we know as Freeman Hrabowski. When his colleagues at UMBC first began to think about how they might recognize Freeman's 20th year as president, they turned to some of the university's closest partners and supporters for advice and thoughts. This group graciously agreed to be the host committee for tonight's celebration. The members of this distinguished group are Robert E. Meyerhoff and Rita Becker, honorary chairs, Rick and Rita Burnt, Eddie and Sylvia Brown, Jim and Kim Davis, John and Nancy Erickson, Earl and Daryl Linehan, David and Marie Orofs, Theo and Blanche Rogers, Brian and Mary Jo Rogers, Mayo and Molly Shattuck, George and Betsy Sherman, and Alan and Wendy Wilson. Will the members of the committee please stand so we may thank you? Now I'd like to thank some of the many sponsors who have helped make this night possible. Tonight's leadership sponsors include Constellation, Whiting Turner, Grace, Lockheed Martin, the Marguerite Casey Foundation, McCormick, Northrop Grumman, PNC, Robert E. Meyerhoff and Rita Becker, the Rogers Family Fund, and William L. and Victorine Q. Adams Foundation. Tonight's innovation sponsors include BAE Systems, Campbell and Company, Gallagher, Evelius and Jones, Stiefel Nicholas, T. Rowe Price, David and Marie Orofs, and Brian and Mary Jo Rogers. And tonight's inspiration sponsors are the Associated Black Charities, Corporate Office Properties Trust, Wells Fargo, the University System of Maryland, Rodney and Michelle Atkins, Ronald and Catherine Shapiro, Louis Thalheimer and Judith Urich, and the University of Maryland School of Medicine with the University of Maryland Medical System. Would you please join me in a round of applause for these sponsors? The word innovation has become somewhat overused in education these days, but innovation and entrepreneurial thinking are real at UMBC and have been hallmarks of Freedom's leadership there. It was these qualities that helped him to work with his partners and faculty to launch the Meyerhoff Scholars Program, the Linehan Artist Scholars Program, the Sherman STEM Teacher Education Program, the Alex Brown Center for Entrepreneurship, and many other important efforts. In recognition of this kind of innovative leadership, Freeman was awarded the Carnegie Corporation Academic Leadership Award in December of 2011, one of the signature awards that any college president can receive. The award included a $500,000 grant, which Freeman has used to reinforce and encourage and promote innovation and entrepreneurial thinking at UMBC. The generosity of our host committee, our other donors recognized in your program, our sponsors, and each of you here tonight have helped UMBC do something quite remarkable. You have made it possible for UMBC to establish the Hrabowski Fund for Innovation, which will permanently endow the initiatives and others launched with the support of the Carnegie Grant. In addition to the Carnegie Grant, UMBC has received gifts and commitments in honor of Freeman's 20th anniversary of $5.5 million. I was going to ask you to give yourselves a round of applause, but you've already done that. So, but this is really quite a remarkable thing, and what a difference it will make in Freeman's efforts to continue to advance that great university. We have a number of Maryland's most important public officials with us tonight, of course. Earlier this evening, we were joined at the reception by Senator Ben Cardin, Congressman John Sarbanes, and Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake. At dinner tonight, I'm pleased to note Congressman Elijah Cummings, Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown, Senate President Mike Miller, who has brought a Senate proclamation honoring Freeman, which is displayed in the reception area. Maryland House Speaker Pro Tem Adrian Jones, a proud member of UMBC's class of '76, who has brought a House proclamation honoring Freeman, which is also on display in the reception area. There are many other elected officials here this evening. I ask all elected officials with us this evening to stand so we can thank you for being part of this very special occasion. Finally, I want to recognize the members of our hardworking, dedicated Board of Regents who are with us this evening. Gary Atman, Tom McMillan. You may not be able to spot Tom. I'm not sure about that. Paul Vance, Tom Slater, Frank Kelly, Pat Florestano, and Linda Gooden. Would you please stand, Regents, so we can thank you for your dedicated service. Now, we were able to get about 950 of Freeman's closest friends here this evening, but some people did have other unbreakable commitments. However, Governor O'Malley and Senator Mikulski weren't going to allow this evening to go by without offering their own special messages to Freeman.